And let me talk about Afterparty. So, yeah, Afterparty is the second game, I think, by Night School Studios, the guys who did Oxenfree before. Free on Game Pass right now. I played it from beginning all the way to the end. It was joy throughout the whole thing. Afterparty, the main mechanic that you do in the game is you get these drinks, and the drinks change the way your conversations go. And the main story is you've died and gone to hell, and you're trying to get the hell out of there, to use a pun. But like the whole thing is like you're using these drinks to interact with demons and other people have died and Satan himself to try to figure out how you're going to get out of hell. And you find like a loophole in their system that if you beat Satan in a drinking contest, you can leave hell. But let me just get just some of the drink names I got to share with you guys because they're really good.
Yeah, I didn't make it to any of the drink games. I played like the first
oh really
15 minutes. Like it was like one night. I'm like okay, this is cool. I got to get back to this though.
So the way like basically each bar you go to, because there's different islands in hell, is what they call them, not like circles, but like different islands you go to, and each one has a little bit of a different vibe. Like one is kind of like the dingy hole in the wall bar, the other one is like the nicer club type of an area and things like that. But each bar has their own drinks, and each drink makes you a different kind of drunk, and that's why that changes your conversation. Like it's either liquid courage or become a bully or you talk like a pirate or and it's just like all these things. And when you're in the dialogue, you get two options usually that are just kind of generic options, like an A or B type of an option, and then you take a drink and all of a sudden a C option appears that goes along with that drink. So there's the bloody stool. Loosens you up and makes you extra flirty with those around you. Like the other ones here. Jeffrey Bomber will give you a flirtatious attitude that attracts humans and demons alike. Literally acid. This drink makes you feel and speak like a drugged out and very happy hippie. So it's like I got into like the situation where the guy was kind of talking like that. I was like, oh, this is the drink I should have. And I was like, man, everything's fine. It's just don't even worry about it. And then he had to help me out. Tommy Gun. The drink gives you an offer you can't refuse. So you talk like a mobster.
Oh, nice.
So there's a lot of stuff like that. But like the main crux of the story is surrounded by Milo and Lola, the two longtime friends. Like they got incidentally paired together in preschool, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
In like preschool, and they've been friends ever since.
I don't know if it was a preschool or like in the nursery. Even.
Yeah, it was something like they've been friends forever. And like I said, they both died at the same point. You don't find out until much later in the game like how they died. But there's just like they're just graduated college, I should say. So like they have like this like we don't know what we're gonna do with our lives type of vibe about them, but they're in hell already. So like you gotta try to figure all that out. But I mean the start of this game is the dialogue and the banter and the jokes and just like the inside jokes and breaking the fourth wall and it's super clever. Like their writing is really good and all the voice actors are. There's a couple of celebrities in there. I can't remember their names. I'm bad at that anyway. But I mean, like there's like well-known people, like not only just like in the voice acting community, but also like in like the normal acting community, I guess. But like just to kind of give you an idea of like how just kind of goofy this game is. I was trying to, so I took a drink, and my not self-esteem was a green guy that came out of you.
Your conscience.
Your conscience. That's what I'm trying to say. And like you take a drink and you vomit your conscience.
Okay.
And your conscience ends up going on like a date with your personal demon, who constantly shows up throughout this game as like your personal.
At least opportune times.
At the least opportune. Always. Like all of a sudden, just like what's going on? Like and it'll be like your character be like and it'll start like the personal, and it's like your personal demon goes after your personal demons,
okay.
like stuff wrong with your childhood and your parents, and like you bombed in like this third grade singing contest, and you can never get rid of it. It's like you've had a fear of public speaking ever since. So your conscious and your personal demons go on a date, and they end up getting into the VIP room, and you need your conscious back.
It's funny you're talking about this because this is like just where I stopped playing.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Did you solve that problem?
How to get in the VIP area?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So like all of a sudden like you could like how you interact with the environment and people. There's these little circles pop up, and you press A to interact with it. And
right.
I see one like up above the balcony, so I go over there. press A and then over the balcony. And it's just Milo talking about, like, man, I can just see that dumb bouncer's head. I take a drink of liquid courage, and I get an option to like swan dive off of the balcony onto him. And he says like something like, "I am more than the sum of my parts," and he just jumps like something goofy like that. And he jumps off the balcony, knocks the bouncer out, and you progress from there. There are, I think, a couple of endings. I don't want to spoil anything, obviously, especially because you haven't gotten that far into it either.
Yeah.
But it doesn't go where I think it doesn't go. It went to a place I didn't think it was going to, and it completely changed my my perceived goal of what I was trying to get to at the very end, and it completely did like a 180 on what I was trying to do, and basically the tone I set with my choices like throughout the game. But ultimately, it was a great ride. It took like 5.5 hours to beat.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, not bad at all. And like I said, it's there's a lot that goes, a lot of the dialogue in the game. It keeps you going forward. But you played it too, obviously. So
yeah. The name of the game for me is not running well.
It runs awful. That is the biggest drawback.
Well, it's not just me. I'm kind of glad to hear that.
No, it is walking. Like there's nothing. I mean, it's not like a
it's not graphically
game,
intense. Yeah.
Right.
So like,
Plus, I'm running on an X.
Right.
But like, it'll be going through. So like, you take a taxi from island to island, a taxi boat with a demon driving it, and like it stutters through there.
Oh, jeez.
I'll be walking down a flight of stairs and it starts stuttering. There's a part in the game where you have a dance battle, and basically it's you have to press button combinations in sequence, and it hiccuped in the middle of there.
Oh,
so I don't know what fucking button it recorded
no.
last. It's making it really frustrating to play. But like Mike said, like the dialogue in there is really good, which makes me want to keep playing it. But man, is it frustrating when you start getting hiccups every 10 seconds. It makes it really hard. For me, it's making it hard to stick with it.
It's at the forefront. It really is. I want to talk about how much other things I liked about this game first, but the thing I noticed the most was that it stumbles in and out of every motion of the environment almost. Yeah. I mean, if you're in a place for a while, it is usually okay. But yeah, just going anywhere is just becomes a chore.
Yeah.
And on top of that too, the very first time I met the taxi driver, I was walking from where I was to her taxi, and she was talking about like, I bet you got a lot of questions. You know, your religion was partly right, mostly wrong, and like doing all this stuff, like some interesting conversation. And I was walking too fast and got to the taxi too quick, and he cut it off. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, well, I restarted it because I really wanted to hear. So I restarted it, stood there, listened, and then walked. Okay. But then for the rest of the game, I was like gun shy about going in and out of locations because I didn't want to like cut off dialogue because that's the star of the game.
Right.
So I just wanted to. So there's been times where I'm just like I'll kind of just like walk slowly, and then dialogue will be done, and then I'm just walking in silence for the rest of the way. Yeah. So like there's a couple weird pacing things there too.
Well, I'm trying to remember because I didn't play a lot of it, but didn't Oxenfree do the same thing with dialogue?
Yes.
Like if you walk too fast, like. The characters just all of a sudden switch conversations.
Yes, and in an Oxenfree though, like you weren't always with other people. Like there was a little more. It was a little more lonely than this is, where you always have Lola and Milo are with you at all times, and the switch kind of random too. Like you all of a sudden you're Milo, and then the conversation, and there'll be like a white outline of Lola, then you're Lola all of a sudden, and that. The other weird thing that I would have loved to have, and there's two things with the drinking itself. One is I don't know if it really makes that big of a difference which drink I pick. In terms of like what happens, I feel like I would get to the same.
Well, that's what I was curious about because you said there's like the situation with the hippie and the literally acid drink.
Yeah,
like I haven't seen any situations that I've come across so far where picking a particular drink would make a difference.
I picked the one where I was like a rambling idiot, and the story progressed. So I don't.
Well, and maybe like if you pick the right one, like that third option makes more sense in the context of things. Because there's a lot of times where basically if I have a drink in my hand, I drink for every dialogue option.
Oh yeah.
To see what that third option is, and almost all the time they don't make any sense in the context of what's going on.
Yes, yeah. I mean, sometimes they do, but like I know that you can not complete some of your quests, because like sometimes like they tell you like to throw it and then or somebody like, because for various reasons. So and there was one time they told me to throw it and I didn't, and again it still progressed, and you know what I mean. So like I know there's different endings, and I think the only difference between ending A and ending B is how you do the last choice of the game. I think everything else kind of built up to the same point no matter what you do. Yeah, the journey might be a little different, but it's the same thing.
Like you were talking about when the personal demon shows up. Like it's like when you get through a section of the game, they'll show up and give you a recap of all these choices you made, and like they always tell you like you made the wrong one, and here's all the consequences that happen because of what you made. And it's one of the things like I think even if you made the other choice, you'd still be getting a list of all the what went wrong and all the consequences because of what choice you made. Which I guess kind of gives it some replay value because some of those consequences are pretty funny to hear about.
Sure.
And if in a 5-hour game, I mean, you can totally do multiple playthroughs. Sure. Remembering what you chose the previous time might be a chore.
And before I forget, the other drinking thing is like I figured hell would be like, I don't know, Vegas or New Orleans. I can just walk around with my drink. Nope. The second you walk out of establishment, you take and you just throw it away. So like I wanted to keep talking like a pirate.
Right. It's hell. It's not. Doesn't mean there's anarchy. There's rules. You just may not like them.
There's a lot of rules in this version of hell, to be honest with you. But yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But no, I mean that's like I said, I'm enjoying when the game runs fine. I'm enjoying it, but when it hits those parts where it's just constantly stuttering, it's really a chore to stick with it. And I'm glad to hear that you're seeing the same thing, because I was thinking, I'm like, all right, do I need to uninstall this and reinstall? Yeah. Do I need to start jumping through hoops to get this to run correctly? But if it's just the way the game is right now, then it is what it is. I mean, I'll probably pick at it here and there or do little bites because I can't sit through multiple hours of that stuttering. It's too much. But the thing was, like, for the first hour or so, or hour, maybe even 2 hours I was playing, it was fine. And it wasn't until like I started island hopping that it started freezing. And
agreed.
There's been times where like it's frozen on me in that boat taxi, and like I have to like pause and unpause to get it to like pop up the next dialogue sequence.
Oh man.
Because I didn't have that bad of an experience with that.
Like it was just sitting there like in the boat animation for like multiple minutes, nothing going on. I'm like, all right, this is way too long for this to be loading. So I started like hitting buttons and pause and unpause, got it to go through, but. Yeah, it's a shame that that's going on because it's like the dialogue and the voice acting is really good in the game, and like you said, that is the star of the game. Mm-hmm. So to have those hiccups be taken away from that is kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, there's just some really great lines throughout the whole game. It's like, and like a lot of times you'll walk into a conversation. Every time you go up and get a drink, like there's always two people like talking at the bar and always having some kind of whacked out conversation. And like the very first thing like you do is. You realize you're hell. You continue to processing, and they're like, "You sit at table 2." So you say, "Go sit at table 2," and then they call you up. And the guy who's like handing out punishments, being like, "Listen, I hear you, but just because you ate farm fresh doesn't mean a damn thing down here." This is just like stuff like that. Like you just like always walk into something like just so funny that's happening. But yeah, I still would recommend it with an asterisk just because like I would hope that they would get that stuff ironed out.
Hopefully they'll patch it up. Yeah.
And like I said, I think I played like 2 or 3 days after it came out, so like it was still pretty fresh. But yeah, Afterparty it was very enjoyable, and I like I said I would give it a whirl no matter what, just because I really like that kind of game though too. Yeah. Like this, like I said, I loved Oxenfree, so like that was gonna be a must play for me no matter what, and I was able to power through it. But if you're kind of like you said, that's not really usually your type of a game.
It's not. I was sold on some of the voice actors in it.
Yeah, so like having something else like kind of push back against you is just it's a bigger push than it was for me because I'm already kind of more in than you are on something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I texted you like the one night I was playing it about when you get into Satan's house and you go like I don't know if it's a trophy room or an office or what it was, but there was one reference in there that had me. I was dying laughing about it.
What was it?
So if you go in there at the back right, there's a framed football jersey.
I didn't see that.
It's a Greg Hardy jersey.
Oh, that's awesome!
I saw the jersey and it kind of looks like the Cowboys Navy, and it said Hardy on it and 76. I'm like, it's a fucking Greg Hardy's jersey. So I'm like Googling, I'm like Greg Hardy jersey number. I'm like, holy shit, that's a Greg Hardy jersey.
Which, that's awesome.
Greg Hardy's a piece of shit if you don't know who he is. So
So stuff like that. So that's the tone of the
That's
game.
funny. That's funny.
Awesome. All right.